Kennet Islanders, and of course, Happy New Year! My name's Jamie Wake, and this is the Kennet Island Update, the community show that brings you news, views and issues from around Kennet Island. As well as updating you regularly with information that affects all of us, as a fellow resident, I want to continue to make a difference in the community that we all live in, so I'm very proud to be local and of course vocal on your behalf. Anyway, without further ado, here is our latest news and community update. Many of you have been telling me about the danger you face when driving down Gillette Way in your vehicle, or the risk you take when crossing it as a pedestrian at the Manor Farm Road junction. As we know, Gillette Way, despite leading to the residential area of Kennet Island, is used as a parking area by lorries and HGVs. This causes blockages in the road for other road users, including a bus service, which we all try and use of course, and potentially emergency vehicles. It also produces a series of dangerous blind spots for drivers along this road, as well as for pedestrians using the pavement that runs parallel along it. There is also a risk of serious accident at the pedestrian crossing that crosses Gillette Way from Manor Farm Road. Due to the location of this crossing and only one side of Gillette Way having a footpath, pedestrians are not able to see the oncoming traffic from Manor Farm Road, which of course includes, as you've told me, speeding Royal Mail vans. I have launched a petition to be presented to the council to eliminate the dangers and reduce the risks. It also asks Reading Borough Council to implement measures to improve safety along Gillette Way and Manor Farm Road for both drivers and pedestrians, and even gives the council suggestions. For example, one mum who uses the crossing with a pram told me that the solution was easy. The crossing simply needs to be moved to allow the sight of the oncoming traffic. The petition also welcomes discussions about other traffic calming measures, including a reduction in speed limit along Manor Farm Road. As residents, we would insist that these measures, which would decrease the risk of accident to residents of Kennet Island, are implemented as soon as possible. So to sign the petition online, please visit kennet-island.co.uk, where there is a link to the petition site. And together, let's make Kennet Island a safer place to live. There are currently only 2 facilities installed on Kennet Island for residents to freely use. The play area, which is designed for small children, was successfully campaigned for by Kennet Island Kids Club, even though one of the political parties claimed the success in one of their election leaflets. You've told me that older children are starting to congregate around it at night, which some residents find intimidating, as well as being very noisy. Unfortunately, there are no facilities for older children here on the island. This is what we currently have: 2 small areas of grass which are not suitable for older children. They're left to play in the road or on the piazza. St James have told me that an appropriately sized park will be built on the island, but not until Phase 3A is completed, when the park will be overlooked and therefore protecting the children playing in it. We of course understand, but it's a little frustrating when they being St James and Hallmark, then complain about children playing on the ever so popular balls green, which of course we don't have balls for, and I don't know about you, I don't really have any in my shed. Maybe I need to get some from Toys R Us. When I was chair of the Kennet Island Residents Association, we did envisage this being a problem. Since then, a number of parents have approached me to share their concerns. I met with the area team leader for the Youth Engagement Service, Reading Borough Council, quite a long sentence there, to discuss how we can provide a service for the young people that live on Kennet Island. This meeting, I'm proud to say, was successful, and we can have access to a youth worker on Monday evenings, providing we can source volunteers to support the running of a youth club or a youth service. We also envisage that an after-school club on a Wednesday afternoon, early evening. Volunteers will receive full training and can work towards an NVQ Level 2, but will require an enhanced CRB check, which Reading Borough Council will pay for. Understandably, a youth club needs a venue, and I have approached St James for access to the meeting room, and St James have only agreed to fund the first hour each week, which means we would still need to find almost £2,000 every year, even though the Kennet Island Kids Club only pays a quarter of that per year. In fact, Hallmark, when approached, denied it, forgetting that I sit on the Kennet Island Residents Association and know the arrangements that have been made. So I'm looking for volunteers, and if you'd like to do so to help provide something for children to do, please send me an email to info@kennet-island.co.uk. Now, as some of you will already know, I and many other residents had a meeting with St James to discuss the ever-increasing service charge and decreasing service from Hallmark. We told St James that Hallmark did not give value for money, and that we were all very unhappy that residents were being charged for items such as CCTV, which is only installed around the piazza, and items such as lifts being charged to all residents when one block has a lift and not the others. We also told them we were unhappy about the way in which the service charge is charged. I mean, let's face it, we all expected a Christmas card from Hallmark, not a service charge statement on Christmas Eve. St James confirmed that they are unable to change items such as the lifts on our service charges without looking in depth at all the leases. But they do look to change this for future blocks as they are being built on Kennet Island. St James were left with actions that unfortunately have not been followed through yet, but I'll feed back to you as soon as they have followed these actions, and these actions include analysing invoices through Hallmark and setting up a residents' forum to look into improvements. I know from the many emails that you send me that many of you are not fans of Hallmark. I personally, and I'll put my hand up to this, am not either, having been here from the beginning. But in my meeting with St James, I passed on the dissatisfaction that many residents are feeling, and I was told that there are ways to resolve it. Of course, a vote of no confidence is easy to organise if that's what you really want. Just let me know and we can arrange that. But on the other hand, some residents are not having any problems with Hallmark at all, which to be fair is really good. I'll be coming round with a survey very soon to get your views on Hallmark, which I can then present to St James on your behalf and leave them with actions to do. Now, if we tie St James and Hallmark together, there's one word that makes a lot of your blood boil. I know when I was clamped many years ago, it made my blood boil too. So I'm standing in a highly sought after part of Kennet Island and at the back of Greel Avenue, next to a visitor space. They are like gold dust, and as we all know, parking has been a hot topic for conversation on the forums and on the Facebook groups since many of us first moved here, and it's one that doesn't really seem to go away. The latest change in parking rules have really wound residents up. The reduction in permissible visitors permits have understandably concerned you, as we were not consulted on these very changes. We were all finding difficulty in the number of visitor spaces here on the island, and many of you have told me that sometimes you can't even have family over at Christmas or for holidays, etc., because there's not enough parking on the island. They seem to have rectified that in the new block that's got the chandelier and the lift with underground parking and much more visitor spaces over on that side of the island. I also understand that Phase 3A will have more parking, and from looking at the planning site on Reading Borough Council, it's pretty obvious that there have been discussions between St James, Hallmark and Reading Borough Council to discuss parking. That aside, I've emailed St James to ask why these changes to the parking regulations were not presented to us as residents, and I'll let you know as soon as I have a response. Before I go, I just want to let you know that I intend to stand as an independent candidate in this year's local elections for Reading Borough Council. Being independent means I'm not tied to a political party and their policies, so I can truly be committed to the needs of you, my neighbours, and not the needs of a political party. Like you, I'm busy, so I haven't got time for squabbling or blaming other people, but I have got time for getting things done. When I stood last year, many people told me how disenchanted they were with political parties, as they were all, well, basically all the same. But I'm giving you now an alternative. Well, the only alternative. So if you're not registered to vote, visit my website at www.jamiewake.org.uk, where you can download a registration form. You can also download a postal application form from the site, meaning that you can vote by post to save you having to go to the polling station at Whitley Primary School on polling day. You've told me that your current councillors very rarely show an interest, and to be fair, they are very busy people, but together, me and you can make a difference and get the community's voice heard on Reading Borough Council. That's it for this update, but please keep in touch and let me know what you think about these stories and others by email, and you can do that using info@kennet-island.co.uk. Don't forget to leave your comment below, and if you're watching this through Facebook, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Kennet Island Update. All of the links are coming up at the end of this community update. Thanks for watching, and whatever your plans, keep safe, keep warm, and remember that no man is an island, unless of course it snows here on Kennet Island and you become trapped, which of course has never happened here before, has it? I'm Jamie Wake, this was Kennet Island Update, and you are very kind for watching. Take care, and until next time, see ya.